What's up, citizens of the World Wide Web? It's Mr. 13, and I'm here today for an official final episode of Season 3. This season, we had a wide range of guests, from photographers to rappers and graphic designers. But today, I have a special guest here with me to discuss an important topic. Joining me tonight is Jessica Mendez, the creator of the No Means No movement. What's up, Jessica? How you doing?
What's up? Hello.
Chilling. Let me take these damn headphones off my head. I hear an echo in my ear when I'm talking with them, so it throws me off. So, Jessica, I'm reading off of my paper.
All right,
it's
go
very
for it.
professional today. I invited you here tonight because, I feel like my platform has been very one-sided in its point of view for some of the episodes that we had. And I wanted to get a female point of view on some of the topics that are happening in the world. And also I wanted to get your story and talk about your movement, the No Means No movement. So I guess we'll start off there. You can tell me what it is that the No Means No movement is.
Sure. So No Means No came up about 3 years ago when I decided to finally come out and speak my truth about sexual abuse in my childhood. I held a secret for so long, and being able to finally speak out about it really did change my life. And I realized when I finally told someone that so many other people said me too.
Yeah.
And that just created this fire inside of me that made me want to keep speaking out about it and to just raise awareness and start talking about, these topics that are uncomfortable but are important.
Yeah.
And then hopefully making those uncomfortable conversations comfortable again.
I'll definitely say that it is an uncomfortable topic. This is probably the first time I've ever done an interview on this topic, and preparing for it was not easy. I was trying to make sure I came up with the right questions. Also, I want to try to make sure that I use the right words when I'm asking these questions. So if I'm not, you feel free to correct me. All right? So, you talked about the No Mean No movement, and I wanted you to tell us a little bit of why you started it and what it was, your story.
Sure. So I grew up in a household where I was being sexually abused by my father, and I never talked about it when I was a kid, and so it was really traumatizing. But it was so traumatizing that I don't remember a lot of it. And so it wasn't until I was an adult and I had my kids, excuse me, and I realized something was wrong, something was off. And all of a sudden, after going to therapy and getting a lot of help, I started to remember. And I started to remember, and I realized that there was so much that happened to me that affected me in a way that made me go through so many messed up things in my life afterwards. So many bad choices that I made, and everything kind of started to make sense. I wanted to start this No Means No because, first of all, I thought that was a good name because so many times people don't respect No Means No.
Yeah.
And it's they say no is a full sentence. All you got to do is say no, and that's it. And I've been through many experiences where I've said no, and that wasn't respected.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important for families to talk about it, for parents to talk to their kids. So many times people think their kids are too young. I'll talk to them when they're a little older.
Mm-hmm.
I was single digits, when I started getting abused. And so if somebody had spoken to me about it maybe I would have been more comfortable talking about it. And so I think it's important to talk to your kids about it, to let them know it, that you're gonna believe them.
Yeah. That was a question that I had wrote down here was exactly. I said, how do you speak to your children about sexual abuse, and when, as a parent, should you start that? You know.
I promise I didn't read your question.
No, I know you didn't, because, but it's great that you're going into it. But you know, I mean, why do you think, like, how should a parent approach it?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel a parent should approach it?
I think that it's never too early. You know, as soon as they start to understand what body parts are, you know,
Mm-hmm.
then they know, like, people aren't supposed to touch you there. Yeah. And, you know, I think that we just, like, naturally trust people around us. You know, we trust the people that we grew up with and our families and our friends. And 90% of people who are abused by people who they know and who they're familiar with. And so you can't trust anybody. And so you have to let your kids know from when they're young, from when they start to understand speaking, you know, this is private. Nobody can touch you there. You know, I'm cleaning you because I'm your mom and I'm taking care of you, and this is respectful. There's a difference. And also, like, if somebody ever tells you, you know, they're going to hurt me, or that, you know, something's going to happen, don't believe them. You can still trust me. And there's so many cases where parents are told and then they don't believe their kid, or they think their kid's exaggerating. So I think it's important to teach your kids, like, I'm going to believe you no matter what.
Yeah.
And, and it doesn't matter who it is, you know. Don't say don't teach your kids, like, to be careful with strangers, because stranger danger is not just with strangers.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's with loved ones and people that you trust.
Yeah. I mean, we spoke about this before, and I have family members that have been abused, and most of their stories are actually with somebody that were close to them, that they knew personally.
Yeah.
And I mean, those numbers are really high, and it's disturbing. I have 2 daughters, so I'm trying to protect them, and I'm always looking at everybody who's around them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I sometimes I'll make comments too, so that people know, like, listen, if you think of it, this is gonna be a problem, you know, like,
Yeah.
because I guess, you know, just experiencing the trauma of the women that I love, like, watching how it affected them, you know, is tough.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very tough. But, you know, you mentioned some statistics. You said 90%.
Yeah. And then, you know, when the big reason I want people to know, like, you have to believe your kids. 90% of people are, not just that 90%, but think about when you're in a group of, in a house, when you're with your friends, when you're in a party, when you're at work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of times you work in a place with a whole lot of people. You see lots of people, and 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys are victims of childhood sexual abuse. What 1 in 6 boys, you're around men in groups of, you know, big numbers all the time. You know, sports. You know about a sports group. I'm not just trying to name any sports, but, like, you know, that's a whole lot of men in one place. And when you think about 1 in 6. It's almost surprising, but it's the truth.
Yeah, it is definitely surprising. You think about that average, and then, you know, a bunch of people that you're in contact with have been abused before, you know?
Right. Once I told my truth, all of a sudden I started getting bombarded with DMs of people saying, this happened to me too. Yeah. It got to a point where it was really hard for me, and I had to kind of step back, because I stopped counting at like 40-something people. Yeah. And that's a lot of stories for me to have to hear. And although I I empathize with everybody's story, I really had to take some time to protect myself.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm also human, and it was really hard. But it's also my fuel to know, to want to make a difference, and to want to talk about it, and to give advice when I can, and to just to be the example, because it took me 40 years to be able to tell the truth.
Yeah.
And I'm not here to say, hey, everybody, I want you to tell your truth and to speak out, but just know that it is possible. It is possible for you to speak out and take that weight of the lie and the secret off of you. And what I was able to do was start to heal. Yeah. And I didn't realize that I needed so much healing. Yeah. I thought it was perfect.
How transformative was it for you to tell your truth?
Completely. My life is a complete 180 from what it used to be. I at the same time that I decided to start all this and to speak up, I also stopped drinking. Yeah. And so by quitting alcohol and dropping all these secrets, it was probably the hardest time of my life, but it was the most important, because I was able to not just hide from what I went through anymore, but kind of go through it and work on myself and realize that I need help in other ways. And I started going to therapy, and I created a support system of people who are there for me, who I know that I could call them and they're not going to take me to a bar. You know, they're going to be there, and they're going to listen, you know. And you know, that's the other thing, you know, surrounding yourself with people who are supportive. That's helped me. And I think it's just important to talk to your families, to just bring up the topic. Yeah. Just the word sexual abuse is something people don't even, oh shit, let's not talk about that. You know, should we bleep that out? No, it's really a thing that happens so often that it should be talked about, you know?
In some families, it's a dirty little secret that they keep. Just from experience, in my family and in other people's families, you know, there's something that they don't want to talk about, you know, and it's sad because it endangers the people around them as well. That this person is a predator, but yet no one is letting it be known, you know. When you spoke about what happened to you, how did your family react to it?
In the beginning, they were very supportive. But then I think everybody was really caught off guard, you know? So suddenly, you know, nobody was talking to me, and I wasn't talking to my mom, and she decided to stay with my dad. So that was hard for me. And my siblings stayed in touch with her, and that was hard for me. And so there was a really long period of time where I wasn't talking to any of my siblings, and I wasn't, you know, talking to my parents. So they took it hard, and I think that at first I was just really angry, because I'm like, well, how could you just abandon me, you know, after I said something that's so big, you know? But with time, I was able to realize that, you know, everybody has their own healing journey, and I was the one who decided to tell my story. Yeah. And this is my life, and everybody has their own journey. And so I'm just respecting everybody's decisions, but living a life that I'm proud of, and I'm not going to stop talking about it because it makes other people uncomfortable. Because that's the problem. You know?
Yeah, that's the problem. The family's protecting these individuals, and I know of a very horrific story where a family didn't tell people about a person in their family who was a predator, and he ended up sexually assaulting 2 children and giving them HIV.
Oh my God.
And yeah, he's in prison now. But see, that those type of situations are why you need to not protect these people. Like
Yeah.
I don't know what the psychology is behind it. That why would someone make the decision to protect someone like that? I don't. I can't begin to understand it. But
Yeah. I think that everybody has their own traumas.
yeah.
So my mom, just like my dad, just like my siblings, we all have, and myself, we have our own traumas. And so what happens is, I think that if you don't work on it,
Mm-hmm.
the cycle can keep going. You know, I was being groomed since I was a child. I could have gone another way, and thank God I didn't. I could have become a predator because that's what I was being taught from when I was little.
Yeah.
And so, for a long time I was just a victim, and I would ended up putting myself in situations where I was putting myself in danger because I wasn't thinking straight, and I used to associate certain things with love that weren't love.
Yeah.
And I didn't really learn how to live a peaceful life that I'm proud of until I spoke out about my truth. And I think that it's almost like my life started fresh.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of it.
Well, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Also being sober for so many days, and I thought I turned off my phone. Yeah, I guess we'll start from there. You know what? Actually, it's interesting. The person who's actually calling me right now is someone who has been asking me for help, and she tells me that she's a victim of sexual trafficking. She told me that she had been kidnapped, and she's currently looking for her children who are being held against their will by their father. I won't mention her name, but it's very crazy that she actually just called during this episode. I met her. I met her through a mutual friend of me and Buddy standing by the camera there. But yeah, that threw me off. Well, congratulations on being sober for so long.
Thank you.
All right. I have my battles with sobriety, so I'm very proud of you because I know it's not easy. We were speaking about that 6 months sober, a year sober, and then falling off the wagon, and then trying to get back on it and shit.
Yeah. It's not easy.
No.
Yeah, but
how do you handle your triggers? You feel triggered. What do you do to keep yourself sober?
I have my support system that I reach out to. My kids, my coach. I have a few friends who are my sober buddies.
Yeah.
And they're always there for me. Yeah. I don't have 100 friends. I don't have 100 people I surround myself with. I have a very small group of people who I trust and who I know that they love me and want the best for me. Yeah. And so when I'm starting to feel triggered or emotional, I know that I can pick up the phone or send a text and I'm going to have support. Yeah. I struggle from anxiety and depression, and there's lots of times that I felt very, very alone. And so being able to, walk through this storm these past few years sober from alcohol has been able to just make me a stronger person. And so now I'm grateful that I have that support system. But I'm even more grateful, not even more grateful, but very grateful that I don't get triggered as much as I used to. And so, you know, yeah.
I hear that about the friends. I realized the other night that I don't have sober friends like I would like. Well, some of them that I do have, they live far away, so it's not easy for me to call them and be like, let's hang out, you know.
Yeah.
But I also realized that a lot of my friends that I did have at one point abandoned me after I stopped doing the things that I was doing. They don't call me anymore. I'm not the life of the party anymore, you know? Yeah. So, like, most of the time when they call me, it's like, nah, I'm not going to do that. And it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough to realize that the people that were there are not there anymore because they were only there for the party, you know?
Yeah. When you were, like, really fun and, you know.
Yeah, I had that bag of Coke in my left pocket. Everybody wanted to hit.
And if what, you can't hang out, don't worry, I got you. Yeah. And you... all of a sudden, you know, you were always there and always available and always happy, and now it's like, damn, what a loser. What? I'm not a loser.
I'm not a loser.
Yeah.
Yo, you want to go half on this bottle? Yeah, now, no, I don't. So now they don't call me no more, man. You know who you are.
I still think you're cool.
Thank you. See? Some people in the world still think I'm cool. No, but I think it's dope to talk about this and be transparent about it. I don't think I've ever been transparent about my drug addiction on any of my episodes. I mean, I might have mentioned some things here and there, but never really like that, you know. But I know that there's other people out there struggling too. So, you know, sharing your story helps from, you know, from what I hear. So.
It does help. And the more you talk about it, the more you're going to realize that you're not alone and that you're not that special. It's not just you.
It's not just
you know.
You know what's crazy? Because when you getting sober, you feel like you don't want to tell anybody, like you haven't been doing drugs with other people.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm not alone. I wasn't alone before, but now I feel like I am. So I want to keep the secret. Yeah. But it's not a secret because everybody that you've done drugs with, they know. Right? Man, but my kids might see this and now they know.
Well, they're going to be proud of you for saying that you
well, I just have to say
sober.
that now they can know that I'm speaking from experience and not being full of shit.
Well, and they're going to respect you so much more for that because I keep it real with my kids. Yeah. And, you know, if we pretend we're perfect, then first of all, they're not going to believe us. Our kids, they know. They're going to figure it out at some point. And it's just better to tell them, you know, it's better to let them know what not to do because you did it yourself. Yeah. You don't want to act like a saint and then they have to go through all this shit and learn the hard way because you didn't teach them.
My parents acted like they were saints.
Oh, mine too.
Yeah. And then I found out that they weren't. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit.
That's all right. But, it happens.
You know, I wanted to talk to you about some of the topics that are happening in the world now because, you know, I feel like, you know, I mentioned it. My website is a men's site and it has been very one-sided in its views. You know, we were talking about this. You mentioned the cycle where you could have become a predator yourself based on your experience. And sometimes people don't act like there are women out there who are abusing men sexually, and sometimes men are ridiculed when they come out because it's like, well, you should have enjoyed it. Yeah. Oh, if that was me, I would have liked that. Well, how do you feel about when people say things like that?
I think that it's ignorance first, you know. It's also, you think about TV and movies, the babysitter, you know, like they have a crush on the babysitter kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I know people who have been sexually abused by their babysitter, and it's a guy being abused by their girl babysitter. And it's life. It's what really happens. And I think that a lot of times men are taught that they're supposed to be macho and they're supposed to be strong, and being with a woman is a privilege or something like that. But it's supposed to be something that you both want. It's supposed to be something that is that you're not groomed to do. and it's no less sexual abuse with a boy than it is with a girl, with a man than it is with a woman. Or, it's not, maybe because it's more talked about that men abuse women and men, boys and girls. But it's not unheard of.
Yeah.
I have a family member, I won't name names, who was in jail for sexual abuse to a child that was a boy.
Yeah.
It happens in families in real life, but we don't talk about it because my family is perfect. We don't want to raise our kids acting like we're so perfect and that we have to be ashamed of things that happen that are wrong. We mess up and it's okay. We could get up from it and we try to be better. And so we got to teach our kids that, they have to be the same. And if something feels wrong and if you feel uncomfortable, then walk away. You don't have to explain yourself.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's, because it's not only, it's also teenagers, it's also kids that are abusive. But, just to kind of go back to your question, to your comment about women, there are hundreds of thousands of women who are abusers.
Yeah.
And it's really sad that it takes so much for a man to be able to admit it because of what other people might think. And I think recently a celebrity came out that was a man.
I know. Was it the Terry Crews story?
No, it was I forgot his name. But
Johnny Depp?
No. Oh, Johnny Depp as well. Well,
Wow,
there
I
you
didn't
go.
know about that
Terry
one.
Crews I know was another one, but it was somebody who came out about Diddy.
Oh,
Said something about Diddy.
Okay.
But men are coming out now saying that Diddy did something to them.
Yeah. I mean,
And so-
there's a dancer that says that he was paid to have sex with Diddy and Cassie
There you go.
and stuff.
And so, I think that the more we talk about it with our kids, the more that we make these conversations comfortable again, then we're gonna, hopefully stop that, and let people feel more comfortable.
Yeah, and families shouldn't be scared because they'll say, "Oh, don't go to the room with cousin Mike," but they don't tell you why you shouldn't go to the room with cousin Mike.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't tell you cousin Mike is a little off and
Exactly.
shit.
Yeah.
They'll tell you don't cross the street without looking both ways, but they won't give you the whole story of cousin Mike.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that too many times of people, just keeping the family secret, as they call it, and then it just kicks, it backfires.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is that usually the truth is that that person was also a victim to someone else earlier in their life.
Very likely.
Very likely. So we're talking about all of this and your No Means No movement. So what is it that you plan to do with it moving forward?
Well, I really just want to continue to raise awareness. I want to be able to do things like this where I get to speak about my story and let people know that I'm not embarrassed about it and that being able to speak out has helped hundreds of people. I've gotten so many messages from people who said, I decided to tell somebody in my family about me. And even if it's just one family that I helped, then I feel great about it. And so I want to keep talking about it, keep raising awareness so that other people are talking about it and that the message is spreading and just slowly start to change the way that the norm of our family is perfect and we can't talk about it.
Yeah.
We have to be comfortable even if we're not looking good.
Yeah, nobody's family is perfect. Every
For real.
family has some cracks in it, But besides that, where are your pins? Because I know you use the pins as a way to promote your campaign and your movement. Well, this is the OTBF boxing pin. This is by Mr. Flacco Fit.
That's right. I love boxing.
That's the man behind the camera right today.
Yes.
Usually I'm the man behind the camera.
Be a nice human.
Oh, you got to be a nice human.
It's gonna be hard to see, but this one says "fuck off" because sometimes.
I'm glad you brought these two up because you said be a nice human, and for me, I feel like sometimes you should be an asshole.
That's funny.
I'm a firm believer in, you know what? You ever know when a kid doesn't like an adult?
Yeah.
For no apparent reason, and then they say, "Oh, you have to be nice to that adult." No, they don't have to be nice to that adult.
Exactly. No, they don't.
When my daughter tells people no, is no.
That's it.
No, if she don't want to hug you.
Go
no,
kiss
she don't want to kiss
Go
you.
kiss this person goodbye.
Yeah.
No.
I don't agree
You
with
don't
that.
have to.
You know why? Because I feel then you're forcing them to learn that they have to obey people.
Exactly.
You know, like
how about like you have to sit on Santa's lap? No,
yeah.
you know. First of all, these Santas, where they filled out the applications, most of them are, you know what, you can't trust people, and so if your kids are not comfortable doing things, then they don't have to do it. They don't have to give that hug goodbye or this kiss goodbye or whatever. They don't have to. Oh, there's the other thing. Sometimes parents, they do things like go to the room. All the kids go to the room, and then the parents go hang out in another room and forget that they have kids, and they're not paying attention. And then the cousins and the friends are all alone. Yeah. Like, you have to be careful because those are where dangerous things can happen as well.
Yeah, you bring up a very good point because as a kid, I experienced things similar to that where the parents, they're not paying attention. They're partying in the front, and then the kids are experimenting in the back.
There you go.
And doing all types of crazy shit. And, yeah, it gets wild. It's gotten wild. Yeah.
I mean, we do what we can, I'm far from being a perfect parent. Yeah. But I do my best to talk to the kids and to let them know that I'm doing my best.
Yeah.
And when I'm not having good days, then I say I'm not having a great day. Yeah. And they understand me, Yeah.
Yeah, that's something that I got to work on because I don't tell my kids that. I just try to always be like, I'm
You're
good.
You're perfect.
I'm good. Daddy, are you okay? Yeah, I'm good. But, I mean, that's just, I guess, how I was raised, My father wasn't the type of man to share his emotions with us. Yeah. He just got the money, and that was it. And I guess you emulate the people that you were raised by in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But back to the pins.
Oh yes, I put them back down.
You put them back down. Yeah. We wasn't done there.
We got a couple of good ones.
She's got some good ones. Sensitive as fuck.
Yeah.
And you sell these.
Yes. And that one is a fortune cookie, and it says "You're fucked."
You're fucked. See, this is cool.
Yeah. But then this one's a positive sign.
Nice. It is a sign that says this is a positive sign. That's cool. I like this one. Oh.
That's cool. You probably can't see them so good on the camera with the plastic, but here's a Simpsons
but I guess
one.
maybe you said you had some pictures, right?
Yes.
You can always send me the pictures and I can flash them. I can edit them in post. Ooh, that sounds fancy.
Ooh, look at that.
So if somebody wanted to buy these from you, how would they do it?
Well, there's two ways. First, you can reach out to me on Instagram.
Yep.
o.jess.i.can. It's o.jess.I.can with dots in between. Or they can reach out to you and you can let them know what to do.
Oh, we could make a deal and we could put it for sale on Made for Kings. Oh,
do it.
And I could get a commission.
Yep, let's talk about that.
How much, it doesn't matter. It's none of your business.
Love it. Yeah.
But if you want to get it right now, you could just go to o.jess.I.can.
There's
a lot of dots in there, man.
Yeah, it's o.jess.I.can on Instagram.
Yeah. And this is live taping today because
Oh.
phone keeps going off. I thought I turned it off. But let's finish.
That's all right.
Let's finish.
That's all right. But yeah, what I do is I sell these pins because I used to have the no means no ones, but I sold out.
Oh shit.
And just because I use this to buy things, like I buy books that are for raising awareness, and I tried to, I had a website, but I'm working on getting that back.
Okay.
And it's just for raising awareness. Making people start talking about it.
Do you plan on maybe writing a book one day?
I do. I really would love to write a book. I am going to write a book one day. I have all my journals from when I was in elementary school. Yeah. And so I have a lot to say. Okay. And I have I don't know when, but it's definitely something that I want to work on because I think people can learn a lot from my story.
I do. I definitely think so too. We didn't even mention this, that we've known each other since high school.
Yes.
Yeah, I've known her since high school. She was always a very happy person.
The year? 1993.
Yeah. It's all good. We're not ashamed, man. We look good for our age, all right?
That's right.
Some of y'all looking raggedy out there, man. Y'all know it. Nah, but yeah, she was always a very nice person in high school. I would have never imagined that this was something that had happened to you. I guess you covered it up,
Some of the people who are in the most pain are the ones with the biggest smiles.
Yeah.
It happens. Yeah. But yeah. We've known each other for a long time. You've always been cool.
Oh, thank you. And our buddy right there, Mr. Coach Flacco, bringing everybody together again. Shout out to it's all right. He Eli. I'm calling him Eli. All right. Yeah, I know who Eli is. Shout out to Eli. But is there any messages that you would like to share with our viewers before we go?
Sure. I think that I just want to say to be patient with yourself, and if you feel that you should tell somebody, then tell somebody. And just know that even though your life is going to change drastically afterwards, it'll be for the better. Because, I'm going on 3 years since I told my story. And even though my family's been separated, it's finally kind of slowly coming back. Yeah. And I'm grateful for that. And now I get to continue this life as this strong new me that I am. Yeah. And people have to accept me for who I am, with the boundaries that I set. And I think that that's possible for everybody.
Yeah. Well, you heard it here. I'm very happy that you came and told your story on madeforkings.com. It is a site that's geared towards men, and I feel like men should hear these stories so that they're, I know they're aware of it, but sometimes you're just not hearing it. You don't get a chance to really listen to what people are saying. Mm-hmm. And, I also just want to make sure that I'm bringing every point of view possible. I don't want to be one-sided, But thank you for joining us tonight, and I really appreciate you for sharing your story with me and with my audience.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you, and thanks for giving me this opportunity.
Yeah, and then, maybe we will have you back another time.
Okay.
All right? You talk about some more topics, get a female point of view.
That's right.
There's a lot of testosterone on this Made for King site. I did get a little flack for the last episode with some of the things that was said, but
I think this episode was safe. Yeah. I don't think you'll get flagged for this one.
Yeah, I don't know if it was safe. I think it was important.
Yeah,
important for men, to hear it. I think it's good. I think it's good that we.
Yeah, for sure.
Approach this topic.
Yeah,
and it was tough. I like I said, it was uncomfortable for me. But then I was like, why is it really uncomfortable for me? Like, well, this is not a topic or a subject that I've really spoken about before on any of my shows, on only on the conversation, but that show was very male orientated. So this is the yin and the yang version of it right here.
I like it.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you.
Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you guys subscribe to our channel.